Festival in Berlin in 2019 and was awarded the Best First Feature Award. And Mr. Mehmet, he is a German-Turkish film director and screenwriter, and it's his debut feature film. And coming to Interdependence, it's a unique film composed by 11 short movies. And Mr. Nilam Madapanda, he is one of the 11 internationally acclaimed filmmakers who's behind Interdependence. And he has produced and directed over 70 films, documentaries and shorts, and that all are based on social issues, mostly on social issues like climate change, child labor, education. And his first feature film, Ayn Kalam, has become an iconic film, winning 34 international awards along with a national award. And
a movie about it's not on.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. It was my school finishing project. I made it in the art school, and it's a movie about searching identities, about to find the place of religion in the Western modern society, and especially about what does it mean to be Muslim in Europe. It's about my personal searching about my cultural and religious identity in Western democratic Germany.
now let's hear from Mr. Nilam Madapanda before going to you for the questions about his experience while working in Interdependence.
This was quite an interesting one. We were 11 filmmakers, 11 countries. So I represent the Indian film. I made this film called Mega's Divorce. And I would say this is more of a personal journey for me, as you all know what is happening in Delhi, which is like a poisonous gas chamber. So where you don't have freedom to breathe, you come out of the home, you get scared. So in that process, it's largely, what the film talks is the emotional impact of climate change, which is basically what impacts it to the family. So this is about a family who is going through a divorce. At the end of the film, you realize that the divorce is happening because of the pollution, because the woman doesn't want her child to be in Delhi. And that's what we all suffer living in Delhi. My son was 9-year-old when doctor asked us not to send out of home, not to play in the field. Imagine that kind of a life. This is really interesting to feel that when you come to Goa, you feel, oh, finally some breathing, This is what happening in Delhi. I was waiting for this festival to come so that I can leave Delhi and go to Goa today. So it's that serious. We can talk about it.
So now the floor is open for questions. Yeah.
I watched your film as part of the Interdependence book your film. Very timely to have made a film on Delhi, the pollution, given that what the city is going through right now, also from Delhi. I was also
the form of the film that you had employed, like was it a feature style or was it a documentary style? I was a bit confused in terms of the form and just if you could clarify that.
Yeah, it's to tell the story. I didn't want it to we had a free hand. The interdependence means you are independent to say your own genre of film. And since I come now from the background, I started documentary, then I started TV, then films. I've made 6 Hindi feature films. So this is documentary where it's more for me Indian audience who would relate to that woman, what she is suffering through. So in terms of genre, I would say this is like you can say it could have been actually a feature film of 90 minutes feature film dialogues in a courtroom. So it's actually, if you see, it's squeezed because we had a limited time of duration. It was originally 16-17 minutes film, so we had to squeeze it down to 10 minutes because the total film has to be 90-92 minutes. So I was not really looking at genre or anything. I wanted to have those characters to, the characters to stand out in the film. so that they tell their stories, what each of them suffering. For instance, the boy had, as good as any family would say, "Pustani ghar hai, kahan chhod ke jaoge?" Purane ghar hai, kaun chhod ke jata hai? The father never wanted to leave Delhi. He doesn't believe that it's happening, which is why he's going out and still going to the park and running. The son believes in that. The wife says that no, we all are dying here. Let's leave. So each character has to come out of whatever journey they had. So that was the whole idea.
I'm Suresh. My question is news and noise. How much do you think is the Delhi pollution? If you are told how much is news and how much is noise?
Unfortunately, this is what has been happening. It's the right question. The news comes from when Diwali starts. But what we used to say, पर्यावरण तो किताबों में पढ़ा जाता है और होता कुछ नहीं है. किसी को कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. 4 दिन, every day front page news you read that Delhi is getting worse, Delhi is getting worse. After 7th, 8th date, everyone forgets. This has been happening for last 8-10 years. Who cares? Who bothered? This is really an emergency situation. The other day, suddenly you get my child still goes to the school. Suddenly you get a notice that next 4 days the school is shut down. Isn't it emergency? It's a war-like situation. Where you don't go out of your home. Every room has say we can afford. Imagine the people who can't afford. All our rooms has air filter. Is that the way to survive? We don't have rights to your air. That's what we are suffering. What are we talking about? So news, how much ever news even happening, where is the impact? Where is the change? So that's what my idea was, that look at the scenario. Each of us has having that emotion. People are getting depressed, If you go on the street, you'll see faces like Esa. Nobody bothers. We are suffering.
So in the last few years, we have seen many films being picturized in Delhi. So do you think we filmmakers are failing to represent what is climate there? What we see is a very picturesque, this South Block, India Gate. But this topic is not talked about. It's not narrated. It never even finds any mention in the films. Do you think filmmakers are failing people to bring out the harsh realities of the climate?
Well, let's say Delhi is beautiful, people love to shoot there. So I won't blame anybody. Each of us has different story to tell. Not necessary filmmakers has to tell the story that Delhi is polluted, there's a city of so many millions people. You can't just leave the city and, vacate the whole city and leave that place. So you can't say that every filmmaker has to tell that story. This is a story which is, I knew the story so I could make it, But Delhi is beautiful, that has to be there. It's a beautiful city. We must shoot there so people can realize more and put more effort. I think recently Priyanka Chopra has shot White Tiger, and when she left, she took out her mask and there was a beautiful Twitter thing. She said, finally I can breathe, she said, But that's what, we must go. People should come, realize, talk about it. Idea is creating dialogues, so that some steps should be, some measurable takes should be taken, so that we all can get conscious of what we say about car usage, use public transport. Geographically, the city is in a situation where the air gets stagnant. You can't help it. So we all have to find a way.
Sir, could you just tell us some of the experience you faced and challenges and the good moments of your filmmaking?
Yeah, it's a big question. I think the biggest part, the most difficult part was to find money for the movie, because it was my first movie. I didn't have enough experience before, only just short movies. So to get the financial support, it was the most difficult part. And otherwise, it's hard to make a movie in Germany with good actors with Turkish origin, because most of the Turkish actors are working only for television. In television you have stereotypes, so it means they speak and they laugh and they play like television actors, and it's always stereotype, and the Turkish and Muslim actors always plays terrorists or gangsters. So it was really hard to find the real actors. And when I find them after 1 year, it was the best, happiest moment for me.
Your film is based in Germany, right? The experience of shooting this story in Germany, did you find something similar with other countries, other European countries, facing a similar situation?
Yeah.
Just add something to that. We keep hearing a lot of reports about communal tensions in Paris, especially France. We don't know, we have much idea about what is the situation in Germany. So, in continuation with that, you can tell me what is the actual scenario there?
Scenario about
communal harmony-wise.
I think it's in real life it's okay. I think you live in the same city, same neighborhood. There are not so much trouble, but when you get your the picture about media, it always sounds like it's a big trouble between the different culture. I didn't feel it. I know there are some problems. There are some problems that about racism and sexism, and that Muslim people especially create their own neighborhoods, but generally it's peaceful. And especially I think Islam in Europe is very new. It's not like India, it's a big tradition of 1,000 years. I think the Muslims in Germany, they live there since 50 years. I'm the first generation who was born in Germany, and I'm the first generation who says I'm German and I'm Muslim and I have to find this new identity. And in my movie it's about that, to create the first time this identity of German Muslims. And it's very interesting that they, especially in my generation, the most are assimilated and integrated, but also there are some parts, and this is my movie, which takes their Muslim identity very seriously. And they start to create a kind of new Islam. This Islam breaks with the Islam of their parents. It's not so traditional, it's new. And it's kind of a YouTube Islam, because they learn Islam through internet. They start to watch imams and preachers from India, from Pakistan and Saudi Arabia in English, and so they are creating kind of new Islam. So, for example, in my movie Talak is very is important, and in Turkish communities Talak didn't exist. They don't know, but the young generation learn Islam from YouTube, and they integrate different meanings of Islam, the rules of Islam, to this new Islam.
You said that talaq isn't something that is...
Talaq is not known in Turkey.
No, it's not legal. It's not official. But I think there are some really religious Muslims. They are still use it, but it's not common in Turkey.
Are you aware of the triple talaq issue that happened in India?
Yes, it was. Sorry, I was really happy to get invitation from India.
So, what is the divorce law in Turkey?
It's secular. You have to go to the court and make it.
Okay.
Yes, it's not. And as a woman and a man have to sign right as the law. It's a relatively sometimes.
But Germany is triple talaq.
No.
No.
No. I think there are some communities who
practice that.
Practice triple talaq, but it's very small. But talaq is not the topic of the movie, but it's important in the movie, because in the fight scene, the main character tells 3 times talaq to his wife, and he goes to Imam, and Imam tells him that he has to wait 3 months. Then he used this to move from the new city, start a new life, and the new Imam in the new city tells him it doesn't mean 3 months break, it means divorce. And when we was the shooting of the movie finished and we started the post-production, I googled talaq, and this was a time where it was very controversial in India, and so I start to follow it. Every week I read the news, and it was kind of my fellowship with Indian Talak and with the movie, because it was really parallel to the post-production.
Madhavji, do you think Delhi gets disproportionate attention for being polluted when we have actually many cities in India which may have equal if not more incidence of pollution air quality wise? Do you think Delhi gets disproportionate attention because being a capital city?
No, I mean, I won't say that. I mean, it has to get the attention. A, it's the capital and such a huge population. And, you know, the NCR, Ghaziabad, Faridabad, Gurgaon put together, it's a huge population who suffers. And it is actually country's worst polluted city, air-wise, you know, not water or anything. So that's how it gets the attention. Although it's green, it's everything, you know. But now we have the blame that stubble burning in Punjab and UP or Delhi's cars or whatever. I mean, there has been many rules which are coming. I mean, government also, of course, you know, they're working on it. But it's not easy task, you know, the kind of, when the air gets stagnant, everything is there. It's a poison chamber, period. And the attention has to be there. My point always, my question is, every year we have this attention, why we are not doing instant action? That should be done. You know, like Beijing, if you see. I mean, last year I was in Beijing. I didn't find any difference between Beijing and Delhi's airs, you know. But they had taken a lot of precautionary measures. That's the only way they could survive, you know.
Do you know any cases of people actually getting divorced because of the pollution?
Well, indeed, you know, I have I mean, it's not divorce. I have a friend couple who had fought about it. The guy says that I have a job here, whether I can get a better job outside or not. The girl said it doesn't matter, we are dying. And on a serious note, it has such bad impact to children's lungs, their future is looking dark. And if you read about it, if you read details, I would say that the reporting is much lesser than the real scenario is. During Diwali, if you go to hospitals, I mean, if you read CSE reports, Center for Science and Environment reports, there thousands of people get admitted into hospitals because of claustrophobia, particularly old people, wishing for children. I mean, simple. You come out of home and you'll feel it. Your eyes are burning. You feel breathless. I mean, what else you would see?
So my question to you is, you've been researching how early could this issue be solved, and which are the organizations which are 1, 2, 3 to look the most efforts put to reduce the pollution? Which are the teams which are working in there?
Well, it's us, people first. We cannot always say NGO, government or anything, you know. Till the time you don't realize to have, you know, if you see the number of cars, it is, I think, in terms of highest number of cars in the country. So each family has 2, 3 cars, you know. That's the first thing you start. Of course, government has to give the public transport system, you know.
Those numbers came alternate days use and all. It is not working.
It's not.
Is there any better solutions
yeah.
to work on?
Well, the first thing would be your own pollution decrease, you know, everywhere. You know, look at the climate scenario all over the world. I mean, it's bad, okay? But the day-to-day, why we talk about Delhi and why it's a serious thing, because the day-to-day living is bad. For instance, in my state, in Orissa, every 6 months, 1 year, there is a cyclone which hits. You can't stop that. But here is something which is man-made, which you can stop easily. That precautionary measure we are not taking. So it's not an overnight thing, but if people want, it can be overnight thing. You know.
Most people, other 2 organizations working with effort.
Well, there are many organizations now. The government working together. There are many organizations working forward to it. And if you constantly, I would say, Center for Science and Environment doing great job in terms of all the research and other parameters what is happening. and they're giving a lot of ideas also. That should be something which government and social organizations can work together. But first is people. People has to stop it. This year again, Diwali fireworks was banned. Okay, last year I could feel lesser. This year again it was like next day to Diwali it was bad because people didn't hear it. We heard fireworks till 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. So that means people didn't realize it. So if you are deaf, who else will help you? No government can help you.
नीला, आपकी तरह मैं भी दिल्ली से ही आता हूँ, और ये जो मेरा गला खराब है, मैं 18 तारीख को दिल्ली से आया था और ये मेरी हालत है।
अभी टकाटक करके जाइए यहाँ से।
तो गोवा में शायद मुझे कुछ राहत मिलेगी। दिल्ली पहले 7 बार उजड़ी है और फिर बसी है, तो क्या हम सोच सकते हैं कि दोबारा फिर दिल्ली बाउंस बैक करेगी और फिर अपने रूप में आएगी? क्योंकि मेरे बच्चे अभी छोटे हैं, ठीक है, मेरी बेटी शी इज इन प्री प्राइमरी, वो कहती पापा मेरी आंखें जल रही हैं। हम लिटरली, और दिवाली वाले दिन हमारी साइड, आई एम इन वेस्ट दिल्ली एक्चुअली, वहां पर लोगों ने लिटरली पटाखे नहीं बजाए और लोगों ने गुब्बारों का एक अंबार सा लगा के उसे फोड़ा था। दैट वाज क्लीन दिवाली, ग्रीन दिवाली। लेकिन एज अ सिटीजन हमारी तरफ से भी बहुत कुछ होना बाकी है। ये जो हम 2-2, 3-3, 4-4 कारों के चक्कर में पड़ जाते हैं, बिग एसयूवीज, डीजल, इन सारी चीजों को हमको रोकना पड़ेगा, हमको अपने अंदर से ही कुछ कहना पड़ेगा, राइट? और उसके अलावा जो ये पॉम्प और शो है नॉर्थ इंडिया की, इसको थोड़ा सा हमको चेक करना पड़ेगा।
वही शुरुआत है,
वही शुरुआत है जी। Thank you so much.
Also, one of the big problem of Delhi is one of the dustiest city in the world. Okay, so dust is a very big issue, which I think it's a very easy thing for government to do. To make it dust free. Okay, that is something we don't look at. That forget the car pollution and everything. The dust itself is a huge problem, and what dust does, if the air is not flowing and you have dust in the air, they get stagnant, and along with fume, it becomes the worst thing for people. Again, it's people.
My question is, through the making of your film, was there something new that you discovered about your identity as a Muslim, or did it change anything for you?
Let me think 1 second. I think it's part of my of my works. It's always I discover my identity with my work, so it's always have an influence on me. And in this, I can give about an example. We wanted first shoot in the mosques. And when I was in the mosque and I talked with the people, and they have they accept from me that I a special image of Muslims. And in this moment I felt, okay, this makes a pressure. I don't feel free myself as an artist. It was a decision to build a mosque in an empty room, so I could be completely free. And it was my first time where I had the feeling that my artistic expression was more important than the near to the community. And it's all still a process, and yeah, it was like this.